and it wasn't you.
I was literally...
Read the room.
But why didn't you say that? Like, why didn't you just be
Because
like, oh,
then I say
like,
something to you and then I'm a bitch. Because
yeah, but
you're all happy all the time.
being a bitch by talking behind my back. That's being a bitch. If you just said to me...
I don't know personally which I found worse. The hypocrisy coming from Helena, Megan, and Emily with Meg, or the fact that you had Emily stand there and call someone, a bitch when she has been involved in this group of people that have been trying to talk badly about Yasmin. It doesn't make sense to me. I really don't get it. And so I question why she feels she has the moral ground to stand on and call out, Tony, when she has just been behaving just as bad when it comes to someone that she walked holding hand in hand into the villa. And then, oh my God, Harry is a menace. Harry is a menace. The audacity to try and explore things while busy saying something to somebody else doesn't make sense. And can anyone else see through the act of Connor? Suddenly he's interested in Meg. Where has he been? We're now over week 2. Make it make sense. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island UK, Season 12, Episode 11. I'm sorry my voice is a bit rough today. I don't know whether I'm coming down with a cold or whether it's just hay fever. Anyway, personally, I don't get it because people are saying, oh, the American version is better. No, I think the UK version this year is bringing smoke. I think it is. I think especially with that trio that has presented itself, Harry, Dejon, and Yasmin, with a bit of Tony, is just TV gold as compared to what we're getting on the other side with Ace and his stupid drama. Anyway, so the game is finished. You have Helena storm off. I think Helena stormed off because she expected Harry to follow her, and Harry didn't follow her. So she then went and was sort of venting to her friends. And it's like, it's the hypocrisy for me and the audacity combined, because when Helena did this to Shakira with Harry, none of these girls were vocal. Suddenly they're vocal because their friend is the one who's being played. When Helena was playing in Shakira's face, nobody was upset at the idea that she came and she grabbed this man's foot while he was cuddling Shakira and left Shakira to go to the hideaway with her. What did she expect? Where did she expect respect to come from when their relationship started with disrespect? Make that make sense? I don't get it. So you have Emily. Emily needs to pipe down. She really needs to pipe down. We need to vote her out because she's becoming too vocal for no apparent reason. When she came in, we thought she was the sweetest thing ever. Now her true colors are showing because she's sort of settled in, and sadly for her, she's settled her train to the OG girls thinking that they're going to stand by her. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to fight her battles. They're going to abandon ship. You have Dejon and Meg. Meg is upset that Dejon said Malaysia was unreal. Malaysia was unreal. Her face cut was on point. Her body was on point. So for him to say she was unreal, where is the lie? Where is the lie? I don't get it. And also to try and make it seem like, Yasmin and Tony are just grabbing things out of thin air and just throwing them at Dejon doesn't make sense, because Dejon is a willing participant in those conversations. When they were pinky swearing and whatever, he was there and no one was forcing him to have that conversation. He could have easily stood up and gone to Meg. So I'm surprised that the girls have more sort of forgiveness for the guys as compared to the girls. You have Tony and Yasmin at the fire pit. They are just having a conversation. They don't understand why Dejon behaved the way he behaved, because at the end of the day, their conversations were innocent. It's not like, they meant any harm. It was just flirting, which is what Love Island is about. You're supposed to flirt, explore connections, and see who you settle with. So the idea that, he didn't stand on business, I don't get it. He should have still done business like Harry, and then we'll see what happened. We then have Harry go and sit down. He sat down with Emily and Connor. I think Emily just wants to get, deeds for her friend so that she can go and parrot back whatever she's heard. So he's busy saying, I don't see what I did wrong. I was exploring connections, and that's all I did. And it's like, Helena has no leg to stand on. If we're being for real, she has no leg to stand on because she is the one who opened the door by doing this to somebody else. Come calling, and she looks like an idiot. She should have known this man had no respect for her when he said she looks like a party girl. That's the moment she should have dumped him. But she kept going because she had no other choice. Now she's in a position whereby she's stuck and she's got nowhere else to go. She can't go to Shay because of the fact that Meg had that complaint about him, and Tommy kicked off. So I think she sort of put him in the friend zone as well. So she's stuck where she is, and she has to deal with it because he showed her who he was multiple times, and she didn't believe him. The people he has respect for, he has handled this situation better. You then have her, well, Helena comes and pulls Harry for a chat. And I think she expected him to be begging her, to be pleading, blah, blah, blah. And she said, do you have anything to say for yourself? And he said, well, I do quite a lot. And then she said, well, I just want you to know it's over. And he said, well, if it's over, then there's no point in me wasting my time speaking to you. What's the point? That makes her look like an idiot, even at the end of the conversation, because she tried to sort of say, oh, you said the same thing to me about Shakira, you said the same thing to me about Yasmin. Anyway, is there any connection there? Are you attracted to her? Do you see anything going anywhere? It's like, that's not your business. Your business is to ask him, do you still want to continue? Are we over? For her to storm off and go to the girls, I think she expected Harry to run after her. And so for him to continue to sit there and pretend like he doesn't see anything doesn't make sense. The audacity for Meg to chime in and complain and call him names and say, he's a 30-year-old, he doesn't behave like a 30-year-old. For Tommy to comment, the two of them need to go home. If there's a public vote, please can we vote Tommy and Meg home? They're not providing anything outside of being chatterboxes. We don't need commentary. We've already got Ian Sterling, so we don't need their commentary. They can go home and we'll find somebody else to sort of take their places. I love that while they were in the kitchen talking, you had the girls leave the fire pit. So you had Tony and Yasmin leave the fire pit. Tony picked up all the glasses as per usual to go and put them in the kitchen, I think. And then Yasmin, the audacity to go and sit with Harry in front of them is just chef's kiss. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I get why she says she gets a kick out of sort of taking guys from their girls or flirting with guys who have girlfriends. Because the way she sat there and they were chatting with Harry and Harry pretended like nothing else was happening around him was just chef's kiss. It was just chef's kiss. Because I think Helena expected herself to ride it to the very end with Harry. So for Harry to treat her this way is something she didn't see coming. I know the girls were trying to tell her, oh, this is the end, you need to cut things off with her. She's not. She's going to go back crawling to him and expecting him to take her back. If he takes her back, it's because he wants to stay in the villa and not because of anything else. And I hope viewers keep him in the villa. Anyway, we have Shakira sit down for a conversation with Ben. I could see my brain cells dying. I understand what she means. Because for him, she's telling him, I'm very furious at the moment. I don't want to speak. Can we talk about this later? And he's adamant, no, we need to speak now. What did you mean? There is no depth to our conversation. She told him, all we do is we speak about other people. And for him not to understand that shows that there is no depth. I think he knows there's no depth. And I think this is why he was offended that someone called him out for something that he's been teased about for a long time. I think had he not been teased about it, he wouldn't been as upset as he was. You have the boys join Ben. So you have Connor, Rommel, and Harrison join Ben on the daybeds. And they're sort of asking him what happened. And he's saying, well, she's not telling me exactly what she means and whatever. I feel like this is what I think. I think Ben is not academically gifted. I think he knows that for a fact. And I think this is something he's struggled with. And so Shakira calling him out is something he's embarrassed about, because he was saying, I make a breakfast, I do this, I do that. And then Connor had to say to him, it's not about the acts of service. She's saying she just wants dialogue. She wants a back and forth. She wants to feel like you're talking about other things. And he says, well, I'm the one who's always asking her stuff and she doesn't answer me. And it's like, what are you asking her is the question. What are you asking her that she's not answering you? Are you asking stupid questions that she feels like they're not worth a response? What exactly are you asking her? Shakira, on her part, was busy being comforted by Tommy. And it's like, Tommy, leave her alone. We know you're just looking for drama. You're just looking for gossip so that you can run back and tell Ben because you're the CNN, the motor of the villa. So we're really not interested. And Shakira is justified in saying, at the moment, I'm heated. At times when you're heated, you say things you later regret. So I get her saying to him, give me a moment to cool myself and pacify myself. And then when I'm in a good headspace, we can have a decent conversation. Because at the moment, I'm so upset that anything can trigger me. So I don't understand why Ben didn't comprehend that. You have a conversation between Meg and Tony is saying, I want you to understand that I am my own person. Don't lump me up with Yasmin all the time. I am there for Yasmin because all of you are not there for Yasmin, and I can't leave her alone because at the end of the day, she's a human being who deserves to be treated with kindness and respect. So you need to understand that. The fact that you had Meg try and sort of Megan, try and have a civilized and decent conversation and not be yelling and screaming. It was like, why are you not like that when your friends are around? Why are you only like that when your posse is not there? You should have had that conversation with both girls and they would have been fine. The fact that you always want an audience to sort of perform to doesn't make sense. Yes, Tony is right to say we want you to know that your guy is different around us than he is when you're there. For her to say, oh, when you're saying breathing down his neck, it makes it feel like I'm hovering. Yes, you are hovering. You were hovering when Malaysia was there, and you're also hovering when the threesome conversation was taking place. So don't pretend like you don't know what these girls are talking about. I didn't like that bit. You then had a conversation between, I'm surprised pleasantly, between Harrison and Meg. And she seemed more open to explore things with him than she was with Shay. I think Shay shut her down or put her off the moment he said he's a dad. And so the idea that she's open to this man and she was flirting and they also had a sort of a conversation to sort of, well, the role played him coming in as a bombshell and how she would react or her pulling him for a chat. She was saying, oh, I'm not going to pull you for chats. You need to pull me. I think she likes him, but she likes the security that comes with being Tommy. Over time, Tommy can become boring, and I have a feeling she's going to be bored. And Tommy to be saying on the daybeds, I'm not threatened, if they want to explore, they can explore. No, he knows that he can't do to Harrison what he did to Shay and get away with it. This is why he's pretending like everything is okay. You have the islanders get ready for the night. On her part, Helena is still aggrieved about the way she feels she was treated. And it's like, Mom, the way you stole him is the way you've lost him. So please keep it stepping. The girls are trying to encourage her to move on. On his part, you have, Harry's a menace because you're saying to the guys, I have two options. Either I sleep in the bed with Helena or I go to the hideaway with Yasmin. And it's like, you've already been to the hideaway. You don't need to go back. You don't need to go back. Stay where you are and see what happens there. So the islanders went to bed and Harry slept on the day beds. And you had Harrison ask Yasmin, are you going to go out and sleep with him? And she said, no, I don't want to be bitten by the bugs. And it was like, oh, good for her. So in the morning, the islanders wake up. Obviously, Jasmine was on the hot seat the night before, and you have Harrison sort of check in on her just to make sure she's fine. They go up to the bedroom, and everyone is checking up on Helena because they're worried about Helena and what happened the night before. And for Tommy to say, "Oh, he most probably was eaten up by the bugs last night." Tommy, mind your business, please. Focus on your girl Meg and focus on your relationship. I don't know why he involves himself in other people's stuff. Anyway, you have Ben and Shakira go for a chat. That was a wasted conversation. Sadly, Ben has showed the worst sides of him and Shakira has been put off. So the idea that she would want to continue anything, I think she would only continue with him if she had no other option. That's the impression that I get. Because she's telling him that, the way you behaved yesterday, I didn't like it. And he's trying to say to her, you need to sort of be open to sort of knowing that you will never get your ideal man. You might need to put some work in. And she's saying, well, it feels like I'm training you, like I'm training a puppy. And it's like, well, the moment it got to that, they should have ended things. They should have ended things because that shows that things are not going anywhere. Because if she feels like she's having to train someone, then that's not it. You don't want a relationship whereby one person feels like they're in a place of power and are having to sort of try and lift the other person into that position as well. You have Dejon and Connor go for a chat. Sadly, the novelty of Emily is wearing off. It is wearing off because the impression I got is Connor is fed up. He's fed up because she's too Miss Perfect and he wants someone who will challenge him, someone who will motivate him. I think he regrets letting go of Tony because his type on paper walked in. Now he's with someone who's boring and he doesn't know what to do. part of me believes that it's because that challenge would have shown people who is in the hot seat or who's most popular and who's not. And I think some people are going to create drama just because they want to sort of get airtime. Because if the challenge was mainly focused around Yasmin, Dejon, and Harry, that shows that they are the ones that the viewers are seeing the most. And so I get the impression that some people are going to create drama just because they want to be in the spotlight. Um, well, Connor says, if things continue the way they are, then he's going to have to sort of make alternative moves. He's thinking of exploring with Meg. And it's like, when did this Meg thing come in? Because he wasn't exploring with Meg when he coupled up with, Tony, unless he didn't explore because of the way Tommy behaved towards Shay. That's the only reason why I would think so. You have Harry. Harry's got, I don't know, the biggest cojones everywhere. Because he went and pulled Shakira for a chat. And as soon as he pulled her, you had the likes of Meg complaining, why is he pulling? And it's like, they were in a couple before. She chose him. It's not like this is a random coupling. They seem to like being around one another. They flirt a lot. And Harry, he's got that in spades. He can flirt for England. And so you have, Helena talking to Ben. They are sort of questioning what's going on there and how they feel. And it's like Helena has no leg to stand on. She lost any sort of substance or anything to stand on the moment she stole this man in bed from somebody else. So however she feels aggrieved or whatever, she needs to keep it stepping. Connor eventually goes and speaks to Emily and he tells her that, he's open, she's open. He more or less implied that he wants to explore other connections. And she's saying, well, if you want to, you can go ahead as long as, you know that I'm still here. And it's like, ma'am, you're too understanding for this man. He looks like he's someone who's used to putting out fires. And the fact that he has got no fires to put out, he is bored and he is going to keep it stepping. You have Tony approach Dijon and Megan, and she herself has been put off by Emily. And it's like, what is it about Emily that has made Connor and Tony suddenly turn against her? What are we not seeing? Personally, I don't like the way she abandoned somebody she walked into the villa with. I don't like how she abandoned Yasmin and joined the mean girls to sort of try and bully Yasmin and say some of the most negative stuff about Yasmin. That I don't understand, because normally bombshells, they are sort of friends with the people that they walk in with unless they come in on their own. So that I didn't like. I know there's going to be drama because of the way that you had Meg and Dijon say, oh, we really like Emily. And it's like, you like her because she's your minion, not because you like her as a person. So the girls are getting ready for the night, and you have Helena still feeling aggrieved, and the fact that Harry has pulled someone else. And it's like, ma'am, it's not such a big deal. It really is not. At the end of the day, this man didn't want you. He used you for as long as he could, and then he moved on. So the idea that suddenly you're aggrieved that he's exploring something with somebody else doesn't make sense. After all, you stole him from Shakira. It's not the other way around. And I don't get why your friends are not being honest with you and letting you know the truth. Anyway, the islanders get ready for the night. They come out, they pick up their drinks, and off they go into little groups to have conversations. And you have, Shakira's having she's sitting there with Tony. She's sort of discussing with Tony what she needs to do because she feels like it's time to call it quits on her connection with Ben. It's a long time coming. Sadly, Shakira is speaking to the wrong person because at the end of the day, Tony has no love for Ben because of the way he treated her. So she's going to be on the cheering squad for him to be dumped, and that's going to be it. Um, you have, the three girls. Well, you have with the four girls actually. You have Tony, Emily, Meg, and Megan having a conversation, and so you have Megan tell Emily that be mindful of what you say around Tony. She's been talking about you behind your back. She's been saying you're boring, so be mindful of that. And it's like, but Tony's not the only one who's saying it. The guy she's in a couple with is now exploring with other people. So there must be something that Tony and the guy are seeing that you girls are not seeing because she's your close friend. Anyway, Ben and Shakira go for a chat. Shakira decides to pull the plug and she calls it quits. And Ben says it's a good thing she's done that because he hasn't explored anything with anybody else. So you would have liked a chance to explore. And it's like, being in a couple with Shakira wouldn't stop him from exploring. He is saying that to save face because he knows she's breaking up with him. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense why he would say that. You have Connor come and pull Meg for a chat. Meg is taken aback. She doesn't understand what's going on. The guys, I think he had already spoken to them because some of them piped up and sort of said, oh, he wants to explore something with her. Meg was taken aback when they sat down and they said, we had a chat and I'm still open to getting to know you if you are open to getting to know me. And the sad bit is you have on the day beds, Emily's busy telling everyone with ears to hear that she feels that Tony has a problem with her because of Connor. It's not her fault that Connor chose her. And it's like, well, Connor at the moment is not choosing you. He's busy exploring a connection while you're sitting there and bragging about how you're the best thing since sliced bread. I wish you knew exactly what Connor was saying. Surprisingly, Connor and Meg actually took a long time to speak. I would have expected her to say, well, I'm in a couple with somebody else. I'm happy in my couple and I don't want to speak to you. But it seems she was keen. She was interested. On the fire pit, you've got the guys. Tommy is quivering in his boots. Obviously, he knows he can't come for Connor because then things won't work out great for him, I think, because he thinks the guys will gang up on him. So he has no choice but to sit there and grumble about how is Connor exploring a connection. And it's like, this girl is not your wife. As she's just told Connor, she's open to exploring connections. She should have given herself that opportunity before trying to shut herself down. So it's going to end in tears. It really is going to end in tears when, people sit down and realize exactly what's going on. Harry pulls Helena for a chat. He takes her to the terrace. Harry's a menace because he knows for a fact he didn't want to speak to her. Maybe production asked him to go and speak to her. He knows for a fact he didn't want to speak to her. The way they were sitting across from one another, I know she said it's over. They both agree it's over, and it's like, so if it's over, why are we speaking? Why are we wasting time? Why aren't we speaking to other people and exploring connections and making sure we're safe at the next dumping? I didn't understand that. Even Helena was shocked because I think she expected him in taking her to the terrace to beg her to have her back. And so for him not to even appear phased by it, I think is something she didn't expect. And so she was pleasantly surprised. Well, not pleasantly surprised because this is who Harry has been from day one. Anyone who's surprised by Harry then doesn't know what they've been watching because this is who he's been all along and this is who he'll continue to be. You have Helena leave the terrace and she goes to her minions and she's busy complaining bitterly about the fact that, oh, why are they, why did he pull me to the terrace? He took me to a private area just to say a lot of nothing. And it's like, what did you expect from the private area? You expected him to give you 4 kisses or what? Well, he's shown you who he is. I wish her friends would tell her straight to her face because it seems they have been very sort of patient with her and sort of mollycoddly and not telling her the truth that this man is not that into you. You need to keep it stepping. And for, Helena to sort of imply that her connection with Harrison, there's nothing there. There really is nothing there. So I don't get why she thinks there is anything there. You have Connor still having this conversation with Meg, and it's like, well, how long did this conversation go for? Because you had Helena go for her chat after them, and they're still having this conversation. I feel like Meg really likes Connor and wasn't sure if he really liked her, and this is why she decided to settle with Tommy. And I have a feeling people are going to be moving mad because they know that their attention is going to the likes of Yasmin, Dejon, and Harry from the little challenge that they played. So everyone is going to want to stay relevant and be sort of seen or get airtime. Connor then went and pulled Emily for a chat, and Emily's like, well, I'm second best. And it's like, what did you expect, buddy? You stole this man from somebody. The moment you're able to steal someone in Love Island, know that that person is going to be stolen. For her to insist that I need to know what's going on, you need to tell me first, it's like, not really. Not really. He doesn't owe you anything. He's in a couple with you. So if he feels he owes you something, he will tell you. If he doesn't tell you anything, that means he feels he doesn't owe you anything. And I don't have any empathy for her. Given the way she's been moving around the villa, I have no empathy for Emily. I feel like she's played this nice girl sort of thing just to allow her to say and do some of the meanest things about a couple of the islanders. The way she sat there and watched the girls terrorize Malaysia and didn't do anything, and watched the girls terrorize Yasmin and didn't do anything, and actually sat with the people that were terrorizing the people that are supposed to be her friends. My empathy for her has gotten out the window. There was a conversation that happened that I was side eyeing. I feel like people made complaints to Ofcom, and because people made complaints to Ofcom, you had production sit down with Helena and Megan and tell them that they need to apologize or make amends with Yasmin because those apologies didn't make sense. They were very random and out of the blue. You suddenly had Megan and Helena sitting down with Yasmin and apologizing for how they behaved because they feel that the guys are just as responsible as they are. No, that wasn't coming from, the bottom of their hearts. That was something they were told to do, and that was very performative. I love that Yasmin has continued to stand her ground and not back down to whatever anyone else has done. For the girls to say, oh, it's not your fault, we feel the guys have allowed you to do that. Where was all this? Where was all this? Where was that sentiment when you were dragging her and shouting at her across the villa? Where was that sentiment? I'm surprised Emily wasn't a part of that conversation. I would have expected her to be a part of the conversation. You have Tony having a conversation with Megan, and then suddenly Emily appears and pulls Tony for a chat. And everyone is set up because they want to know exactly what's going on. Because I think rumors were circulating that the girls are not getting along. And so everyone was ready to sort of find out what the hell is going on. So Meg excuses herself and leaves Emily and Tony to have a conversation. I still am Team Tony. I'm sorry. I still am Team Tony because of the fact that this girl thinks everything revolves around Connor when Connor is already moving on to somebody else. So the idea that she feels like Tony is upset with her because of Connor doesn't make sense. It's in her head, not in Connor's head, neither is it in Tony's head. I feel like there's this maliciousness with Meg that she tries to hide under the sweet girl persona. So hey, if she's going to be called out for her bad behavior, I didn't like how she treated Yasmin. So, hey, to each their own. You get what you deserve, karma. So you then have Tony sort of storm off, and now you have, Emily sort of venting to everybody else. And it's like, why are you venting to everybody else? If you have a problem with everyone, sort of say it out. I like that Tony stood her ground and called her out. And then you had Shakira sort of answer to say, yes, you do mean things. And so for her to say, oh, Shakira is always going to, second that just because they're friends. No, that's not the situation. You are being a mean girl. And so you're being called out for it. And now you're suddenly looking for excuses. Oh, maybe it's because of Connor. Oh, maybe it's because of this. No, it's because of you, the way you behave and the things that are coming out of your mouth. I can't wait for Connor to leave her because I think it's important that he keeps it stepping and we will get to see the real her. We will get to see the real Emily and see exactly what the problem is. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 10. Bye guys.